So one of the big things that's going through the manosphere right now, it's pissing a lot of people off, is Rolo tweeted something about how guys in their 20s, like the quickest way to becoming a high value man is getting a vasectomy in your 20s. Like, what do you think about a guy, has a ridiculous amount of people that follow him, the guy known as the godfather of the red pill? Like,
Yeah.
do you think it's toxic or like good to give maybe a vasectomy in your 20s? Like, can you see where there's some positive in what he said, or do you just disagree with that? Like, what do you think about vasectomies and stuff?
I fully disagree. It's like random, dude. Like, I feel like whoever was saying this, whether it was Rolo or whoever it may be, right? Like, that's just very what's the word? It's kind of like what 6ix9ine does. Like, you're just like kind of being extra
Trolling.
troll. Yeah, essentially, you're kind of like just being
Rolo.
extra
Yeah.
to get a reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like, in all reality, dude. Like, I don't want to it, man, but like in all reality, bro, like these are young men that he's speaking to, and the fact of it is that whether I like his influence or not, it is what it is. He has that persuasion influence onto the masses, and it's my obligation as a man who I feel as though is much more morally aligned to build up my influence, so therefore I can grab some of that audience and actually guide them the right way. But in regards to the vasectomy, man, I think that getting that is like, why would you do that, dude? Like, you're not thinking long term, bro. Like, you're not thinking about your future kids when, if you do decide you want to do that. And who knows what kind of like testosterone, what kind of effect that can have. And in all reality, like, you're doing that permanently just so you can not have kids. Like, dude, are you thinking right, bro? Like, why are you using that first? Now, if you already have like 8 kids, or let's just say you have 2 and you're like, I can't control myself, I can't run this up anymore. Okay, I could see that. But if you're like a young man on his, this is why, let me say this too, whether people want to admit it or not, a man's inherent drive comes down to wanting to like provide for women. Like, whether a guy wants to admit that, subconsciously that's what he does. Now, for getting a vasectomy, what will that really do to your drive, right? Like, how will that truly affect the rest of your business career, right? Or your career overall, like your overall drive. And not only that, but therefore you're going to be more focused on having sex. So let me ask you this, right? Does sex equate to results in life, or does it equate to massive distraction and no results at all? So by getting a vasectomy, like, other than not having kids, right? And some can argue that's a con. Uh, like I don't really see the benefit other than degeneracy. So like I completely disagree with that.
Yeah, and like I actually had quite a few like really beautiful friends because I teach pre-selection a lot, and I teach like being around women a lot. So I had a lot of friends that were girls, and a lot of them would be in relationships with really awesome guys, and they would as soon as they found out about the vasectomies or anything, it was over. Like, they were gone. And it's just like, they were really good girls. So it's like, sometimes you have an opportunity to get with like a really good girl, but the second they find out that you can't have a family with them, you might completely miss out on that girl for the rest of your life, just and like you're just officially a sex toy, which is fine if you want to be a sex toy. But like I feel like most guys want to have families and want to have kids one day. And what if that girl was the girl that was like meant to be like the perfect mother for your kids or something? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. Is like, what if you meet the one in that time period of you getting the vasectomy, and it's, I don't know. And they keep debating how there's ways that you can reverse it and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's a low percentage chance of reversing it. It costs money if you want to save your sperm. And to me, at the end of the day, it's just not natural. I know like
100%.
you're all about the natural stuff too, just like me. We don't want to do something that's just unnatural. Like, it's so
Right.
funny because I was debating that, and I brought it up with my girlfriend. I was like, wait, I'm circumcised. Is that okay? That's not natural.
Oh, that's
I was like,
true.
fuck.
Yeah, I could if I could go back in time, I would my parents. Don't chop
Dude,
that
no,
shit. But
you want to know something funny? When I was like 13 years old, I was like a huge Christian. I was going to church like all the time. Like, I wasn't even going to school. I was going to church all the time. Like, that was like what I did instead of going to school. And I started doing like a whole process so I could graduate early just so I could be at church more. And whenever I was doing that, like, I found out about the circumcision thing, and there was some verse or something that said that you
no
weren't going
way,
to be able to go to heaven or something if you were circumcised. And like, I
bro. What?
remember I remember I just because I was reading the Bible. I think it was in, I can't remember what book it was in. I want to say it was Matthew, but I don't think it was Matthew. I want to say it was something else. But I remember immediately when I read it, I lost it and ran to my parents, and I was like, "Bro, why did y'all cut my
You
dick
guys,
skin off?
you guys
What are y'all
over.
doing? Y'all literally just, I'm not going to heaven now because of y'all." And like, and they had to like explain it to me, and then like they couldn't because they weren't really Christian, so I had to go to my pastor, and he had to explain it to me. But it was like a whole thing because I was so bothered about the. I didn't really understand. I mean, when you're young and you find out, you're just like, "What the?" cut skin off my dick? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know this. Like, what the